Welcome everybody to your HTML and CSS tutorial. So, in this video I wanted to talk a little bit more about colors. As you can see, you can type in color names to change the colors of content. And if you don't really know what I'm talking about and you missed the last few videos, go back in the series, watch a few videos back starting at the CSS part, video like 20 I think, and it'll make sense. But this is not really the best way to define colors sometimes. Sometimes it's really cool to use RGB values. So what does RGB mean? Well, let me just type out some notes here. RGB stands for red, green, blue. So what does that even mean? Well, you can actually develop, recreate all of the colors you could possibly think of mixing these three colors together. So if you mix red and green, you get purple. If you mix blue and green, you get yellow. So you know what I'm saying? You just mix the colors and you get certain colors. So you can get pretty much anything you like just by mixing these colors together. So to declare a red, green, blue value, you go like this, and then you put 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and separate them with commas. So that is black. So 0 red, 0 green, 0 blue. You can also just put 1 0, I think. Yep. And in fact, now that I think about it, you could just delete the whole thing and it'd still be black. So even if I'm doing it wrong, it's still going. But anyways, yeah, let's go 25, 0, 0. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell or not, but the color changes the slightest bit. So if I go 50, you can see it turns a little bit more red. What if I go 100? Oh, and now it's definitely starting to look red. The very highest value is 255. So that is absolute red. So when we type in color equals red, that's the equivalent of saying color RGB 255 0 0. It's the same thing. Now you may be wondering, why would you use RGB when you could just type in the names? Well, when you're working with projects to develop websites, you may have exact color schemes. So the color scheme may be 164 red, 32 green, and 48 blue, and you want to follow that exactly. Rather than getting a number that is a color that is close as possible to that, you can get that exact color that will really make the website look nice. Alright, so the values go up to 255. Very lowest is 0. So that means 0 equals black, or nothing, I should say, maybe. Nothing. 205 equals full. So we're at 0, 0, 0. That means it's all black because there's no red, no green, and no blue. We can crank up the blue to 255 and we get really bright blue. If we add green into that, 255, we get a mix of the green and blue. Get like the cyan color, I guess. Then if you add the 255 on the red, surprise, surprise, it actually turns white. So white is every color mixed together. That's spelled obviously wrong. So black is no colors mixed together. Alright, so that's the basis of red, green, and blue values. Now when we go back to that website we're at, that reference, we go to W3 Schools Colors, not HTML colors, wrong, CSS colors. CSS color names. This is going to give us, sorry, wrong page. CSS colors. This will give us a color as well as a hexadecimal color hexadecimal, which we'll get into that in the next video, and a red, green, and blue value. Alright, so here are examples. And then it shows a huge variety of colors in this chart. So if you need to find a similar color to something, you can find these colors like this one, and if it's just a little off, you can modify it a little bit. These are in hexadecimal, but you can find the same charts in RGB if you just Google search it, and so forth. So that's one way to tell colors. So far we know how to tell colors by the color name and an RGB value. In the next vid, we will learn how to understand hexadecimal. Woo! This is actually a good skill for any type of computer development, not just for web development, because hexadecimals are used in a lot. So the next video is going to be a little more mathematical and technical and stuff, but it won't be too bad. I'll guide you through it. So hopefully I was able to help you some in this video and the rest of the series, obviously. Just let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.